Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Awesome Ashby Eats. I'm Awesome Ashby, and I love to eat. And I'm really excited and impressed with myself because I figured out how to hang my microphone upside down. Is it a big deal? No. Did it make me super duper happy? Yes. Okay. So today we're starting Jumpstart 2. Welcome to Jumpstart 2. Jumpstart You Part 2. Oh my gosh, catchy phrasing. Jumpstart You Part 2. And basically, it's going to be 6 episodes. Last time we did 10. I feel like as I'm sort of perfecting what I want this show to be like and about, and the sounds and the feelings and the colors and all that good stuff, things will change, like my cool microphone. And so that's what's going on. And as we change here on the show, I hopefully will be changing my health and habits once again for the last time is the goal. Really leaning in. They say when you teach others, that's when you really learn it. And I've been trying to learn this for my entire life. I am a professional team builder, a professional event host. I am used to public speaking, and it's great because I really like that I'm not now developing this skill. I'm used to like a lot of people and a big audience, and so my voice carries. So I did spend some time to make sure. I feel like my last set of videos were a little on the loud side, so I apologize. But nonetheless, we're here, we're back, we're better, we're improved. The pop mic is staying up, and we're going to have a great time. And so 6 parts, and it's 6 parts because each part is um, a really core factor of your health. And so I feel like every episode is about health and the different facets and what you really need to learn and takeaways. And some of this stuff I'm really good at, and some of this stuff I'm not as good as I'd like to be. But definitely now that I'm in the middle of life, I really want to do a really good job at learning and really implementing all of these things into my life because I know they only make our life better. It's really funny because as I'm doing my homework and my research, I'm realizing that, like, yeah, sure, a lot of us know, a lot of us know this stuff. So you might be like listening along and being like, I heard that somewhere. I know that. But when I look at the statistics, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And it makes me think of that Amy Schumer. Like I've just been really into Amy Schumer skits lately, like loving her every day. And it's about the phone scrolling, and how her doctor's like, you could cure like all of your sleep issues if you just stopped doom scrolling at night. And like it just, all of us have all these conditions because of things that we know that we're doing that are not good for us. Anyways, I digress. Today we're just focusing on like calorie awareness and portion control, which are definitely number one out of the six different areas of health. And it's tough because I definitely know we live in a world where, you want to get what you pay for. America, maybe not world, America. We're here in the United States. We're here in Hollywood, Los Angeles, America, in the United States. And we are 100% like not Texas. However, we do get bigger portions. And we're going to have a portion chart I want to show you, but we're going to start with the basics, and I want to talk to you about calories. And if you look up the definition of a calorie, it's like a basic, and it's basic energy science. It's not a scary number. It's a unit of measurement and has to do with heat. But again, it doesn't really translate when we're eating the Kit Kats or when we're eating the I don't know, the Big Mac. I mean, I used to be really into a Big Mac, and it's really interesting because the more you do focus on your health and you try to stay consistent with that health, the more healthy you become. Like I was just looking at my last videos, and yes, maybe I needed some new lighting or different lighting, but like I feel better. I feel like I'm doing it. Like I'm doing the work. And it's hard because you don't really know, like you don't see the results right away. So you just really have to have faith. Um which is also really hard because so is like the deliciousness is everywhere. Bakeries and goodies and snacks and cakes and pies and fast food, and food is so good. And it's tough because if you do really want to eat all that stuff, depending on what it is, most of it's not good for you at all in a health way, whether it's extra calories or just the ingredients. But also, like, the amount of exercise you have to do to combat that is like a lot. And, like the picture of my thumbnail is definitely me a few years ago when I really got into my health. And that was like the first time I did it the right way in 2021. And I really want to lean into doing it the right way again. And it was a lot easier because I had my trainer, Tom. Hey, Tom. And he was super helpful and he walked me through all this. So we're kind of walking through some stuff he walked me through 4 years ago to just sort of help me remember how important all this stuff is. But it is tough because I love food and I like to eat food and it's delicious in my tummy. And I worked at a lot of restaurants growing up. So I got to eat a lot of food for free, like we talked about in the previous um, things. And so really fun. I don't know if I said this in the last, I think I said this, but if I didn't, I want to share now because we're talking about calories and portions in this video. I used to work at TGI Fridays. If you don't know what that is, look it up. TGI Fridays, Google it. Very popular a restaurant in the 90s and early 2000s everywhere. And my first restaurant waitress job was at Olive Garden back in the late 90s. And they both have breadsticks and they both look just like what you think breadsticks look like. And the fat content in them was completely different, even though they looked exactly the same. So the TGI Fridays breadsticks already had the seasonings and the large amounts of butter baked in, and so that's why it was 14 grams of fat. But the Olive Garden breadsticks didn't put any seasonings or butter on it until after it came out of the oven, and then they would just paint it on. And so it had a lot less fat, and it was like 2 grams of fat. Now, both of those are ultra processed, chemically processed breads, so not good for you. But I was sort of taken back and flabbergasted since I worked, very in depth in both restaurants and that their breadsticks were so vastly different. And so I think that's something to remember is that, it's so easy to get down on ourselves when we first start a health journey because we're like, oh, now we feel restricted. We can't eat this. We can't eat that. We can't eat this. We can't eat that. But we can't look at it like that. I mean, you could, but you don't want to. You want to be positive. I am a professional team builder. And I want to build us up to be able to do this together and stay on the course. Not every day you're going to feel like exercising hard strength training for 45 minutes or walking 4 miles. Like every day you're not going to feel like that. And especially as we get older, it takes a lot out of us. So you have to give yourself grace. You have to be patient with yourself. And yeah, so something crazy like that with breadsticks at takeout restaurants, it's like you would never know. So you have to remember whenever you are eating takeout that you really don't even know what you're eating. So you want to stay as like healthy and close to wholesome vegetables and foods as possible. So let's get started. I want to show you this awesome, is this working? Yes, I want this. Okay, so I want to show you this awesome chart. Make sure to screen capture it on your phone if you'd like, and check it out. And so this is energy balance, okay? The energy that's in and the energy that's out. Now, the energy that's in is, the food you consume, the calories. I feel like the appetite, the food consumed, the calories absorbed, and the psychological factors. Psychological factors are the only thing that's different. But those first three things are just, yay, food, we like it, we want to eat it. The psychological factors are what's really, really important. Influenced by stress levels, mindset, perceived control, self-esteem, and sleep quality. And we're going to have a whole episode about sleep, but I really want to focus on you focusing on this chart and seeing that all of that energy in, if it doesn't go out, it goes to your stomach. Okay. So, and I know. So energy burned at rest, and that's when you're sleeping. It does happen. And when you're thinking, you burn calories, which I find fascinating. Energy burned through exercise. That's pretty self-explanatory. Energy burned by non-exercise activity. This is called NEAT. And it's so funny because I feel like when we were young in the 80s and 90s, I'm sure teachers still do this today, but they would like get mad at you if you like we're moving in class or shaking your leg or whatever the case is, like making any movement. They wanted you to sit still in your seat. And then you look at this chart and it's basically like NEAT energy is like the restless leg syndrome, or when you like shake your leg a lot when you're sitting, or if you're like constantly like fidgeting. And apparently that burns calories. And I just find it really funny, since when you're young and you're a child, there's always adults telling you to like sit still and don't move around. Anyway, moving forward, energy burned by metabolizing food. Now, this is really interesting because we're going to talk a lot about fiber in the next episode. And like 97% of all men and 90% of all women, yeah, that's all of them, don't eat enough fiber. So we're obviously not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So hopefully you got a screenshot of that chart, because that's basically like, that's the science of it. The energy that goes in, it has to go out. And it's tough because, we don't think of food. We don't think of food as energy in. We think of it as deliciousness, and we love to eat it in our mouth. And I totally agree with you. And so it's tough to look at it like that, but it is the scientific approach of it. And so when you're thinking about calories, it is very time consuming to count them. And I wouldn't want to ever be a person who's like, you should do this for the rest of your life, because you shouldn't. I think it's just really more of like an educational experiment and an eye-opening practice. And my favorite, and I'm not sponsored by anybody, I'm just starting this channel, although I do hope for a prosperous future. MyFitnessPal is an app that you can do the free version, and it still lets you like add all your food. And it's really awesome because I definitely think it's the best one out there, my personal opinion, because not only can you like search for foods and it gives you options, but you can also go to like manually enter a recipe in that app as well. If that's something that interests you, we can figure that out and do like a MyFitnessPal episode. And I really like it because it just helps me like, oh, I didn't know that had that much calories in it. Or, oh, I didn't know that had those nutrients in it. Or I didn't, just things that I did not know, and that then I know. I want you to know. I want us all to know. Knowledge is power, and that's why we're here. So, yes, do MyFitnessPal if you don't have something else that you're really into to keep track of calories, because it just sort of gives you an idea of what you're eating and what the calories are. Like a really good example is, and I talk about this all the time because I'm so fascinated by it. I never eat Popeyes. I ate Popeyes once, like on a whim, and I was not looking forward to it because I don't really eat fried chicken. Like I'll eat really special fried chicken. I'll leave it at that. But otherwise, I don't go and order fried chicken. It's not very good for you. So I went to Popeyes and I discovered that they do blackened chicken tenders. And that is 170 calories for them. And I've talked about this in the last episodes because I'm such a fan of the blackened chicken tenders because they're low in calories. And so I really love Tuesdays in the summer. This 2005 is Mardi Gras Tuesdays, and you get 3 blackened chicken tenders for $6. They're normally $12, so it's half price. Great deal. And oh, I remember last week they were giving away, if you spent $5, and on Mardi Gras Tuesday they're $6, you get free 6 wings, spicy bone-in wings. And I was like, free? We all love free. So I took it. I got it from them and I brought it home. And not only did I have no idea, one of those 6 wings, just one wing, was more calories than the 3 tenders, the 3 big full tenders. Is that nuts or what? 1 wing, 3 tenders. 1 wing, 210 calories. 3 tenders, 170 calories. What? And so I feel like that's just a really good example of what we're trying to do here, is like just learn from that, And I definitely eat a lot less restaurant-y, like chain restaurant food than I used to, especially since I don't work at them any longer. But I do think it's just sort of mind-blowing when you think about it, those kind of calorie differences. So Yeah. So MyFitnessPal is a good one. I recommend just keeping track any way that is most convenient and comfortable for you. That's what's most important about all of this. It's so easy to get a negative mindset when we're going on a health journey to be like, oh, now I can't eat that. Now I can't eat that. Now I can't eat that. And you can't look at it like that. You have to look at it in the positive, which is like, okay, now I can focus on this and now I can focus on this. And one of the things you want to focus on is just writing it down. I definitely say that a lot in the last set of episodes in part 1 of Jumpstart You. So it is something to be reinforced. You want to write it down. I use MyFitnessPal. Physically writing it down is too time consuming for me. I want answers. I want them fast. I want to keep it in my phone. So that's my recommendation for you. Okay, so, ooh, hi. So now that we've talked about calories, energy in, energy out, numbers, things like that, I want to talk about portions. So I have another graph for you, another chart. These are supposed to be the portions. I say supposed to be because there is no way on beautiful God's green earth that you ever get portions like this at a restaurant. And your hand is proportionate to your body. That part I get. It never changes. Like you always have, I mean, hopefully you always have your hand. Anyways, moving forward. Its size never changes and it's always with you, making it the perfect tool for measuring food and nutrients. Minimal counting required. So it's saying that the palm of your hand is a serving of protein. Your fist is a serving of vegetables, one fist. If you cup your hand, that's a serving of carbs, one cupped hand. And the thumb is a serving of fat. Right? Now, screen capture this with your phone if you're seeing it. Otherwise, I'm telling you verbally that these are the portions when it comes to that, right? So everybody's looking at the portions. We're seeing that ideally these are what's supposed to be the protein, the vegetables, the carbs, and the fats. Now, the issue is, oh, you are perfect. The issue is, you know, you're not, I mean, you could go around putting it in your hand if you want. I wouldn't do I wouldn't go around putting it in your hand, but I think it's just to have that idea and realize, because I always feel like when people go to fancy restaurants, they're like, oh my God, it's like nothing. It's like a crouton. It's probably at the fancy restaurants the right portion of the food. Which is also sort of interesting because big picture, just sort of I just want to make everybody aware, our society unfortunately really sort of caters to that situation. Like, if you're buying cheaper food, you might get a lot more of it, but it's a lot lower quality food. And then the higher up the price goes, the more it's a smaller amount of food, but it's a higher quality food. And you'll notice that if you're paying attention and shopping at all the food places. I would love for you to disagree with me down below. I'm pretty sure I'm 100% correct. And so portions are important to remember, but you also want to make sure you know what's in your portions. Like protein is normally dead animals. And I hate to say that without thinking about vegans because I love my vegans. And I personally cannot be a vegan because I am allergic to soy, and soy's in tofu. Soy's in a lot. Corn and soy are the most genetically modified products on the planet. Well, definitely in America. I'm speaking as an American. And that's not good. And it all started back in World War II because we wanted things to have shelf lives. And I just harp on that a lot because it's like we're not, us personally here, when you're living your everyday life behind a computer or at the office or walking on the street, we're not at war. And so thankfully, and because of that, it's like we really shouldn't be eating foods that have all this hydrogen and the stuff in them, preservatives to keep shelf life. And, a lot of that comes with the fact that like we also ship foods all over the world. And there are areas in this, not the world, but the country, in this country specifically, there are areas in this country where food is not as available. Very blessed to live in LA where there is food that you can get from all over the world right here any way you want it. And I think it's really unfair that that's the case. And I'm not doing a podcast about the farming industry, although my heart goes out to the farmers because I really feel like it's a tough dynamic that we're living in. And there's more people every day and we have higher populations, so we need more food availability. But if that food isn't of high quality or good quality, does it matter? Like, then we're just hurting ourselves. Like, It really breaks my heart to know that 70% of all the food in America is ultra processed. Like that's so much. That's more than half. That's so much. And we're eating it and we're like not thinking about it. And then, and then there's just another way for them in the pharmaceutical companies to make money from us. So we're here to do it free, do it fun, and to not spend that kind of money for like this perpetuating cycle that we don't need to be in. So we talked about calories, we talked about portions. I'd also like to tell you about like hidden calories because I think that kind of goes along with the portion things. It's like I can't have a salad without dressing. I don't know about you. I need dressing on my salad. And if you don't know what's in that dressing that you're putting on your salad, that's another big red flag to me that you should think about, because salad dressings and the dipping sauces and anything we dip anything, I'm a big dipper. Are you a big dipper? I love a big dip. And the problem is if you don't know what you're dipping into with the vegetable you're eating or the protein you're eating, that could be like another 100 calories and you didn't even know. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to eat, what not to eat. I just want you to have the knowledge, have the power so that you can make that choice for yourself, right? Yeah, knowledge is power, and that's what I want for you. So dressings and sauces have lots and lots of hidden calories in them. And a lot of that has to do with shelf life and preservatives and the ingredients and things like that. So if the first thing while you're on a health journey is for you to figure out how to make like salad dressings and sauces for yourself, that's a win. Like even if you're still not eating the best foods, and you're like, okay, well, it's going to take time for me to go from Taco Bell to homemade tacos. I understand. Again, we're all on our own separate journey, and I just believe in you, and I believe in me, and I believe that we can get to where we want to go. I can get back to that thumbnail image. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. But yeah, start with the dressings and the salad dressings and the dips and all the fun stuff because I love a dip. Let me give you a dip right here off the top of my head, my favorite dip. And it's a really fun way to adjust. You can take this recipe that I'm going to give you right now verbally, and you can adjust it like I have over time. And so, okay, so the dip itself, it's so good. And good is the word I want you to remember because good will help you remember the ingredients. Okay, it's a veggie dip, but that's because I put veggies in it. You can put whatever you want in it. It's just a dip. It's just an amazing, delicious dip. And so it's half sour cream and half mayo. Now, because I am lactose intolerant, I get vegan mayo and I get vegan sour cream. It's your call, right? I think those are healthier options. But if that's, if you don't have dairy issues, don't worry about it. So, okay, whether it's a cup, a half a cup, a whole cup, it doesn't matter. Just half, right? Okay, so you got half sour cream, half mayonnaise, and you mix it up. And then you put in a tablespoon of dry dill. That's the D in the word good. Let's just do all the letters. G is for garlic. So powdered garlic, like I would say a teaspoon or two. And then O is for oregano, another teaspoon or two of oregano. The other O is onion. I mean, I put a lot in, but you just put a couple teaspoons. You can put more in though. I put a lot in. Onion, powdered onion. And then the D is for dill. Dill's what you want the most of because it technically is a dill dip. But if you're not into dill, you don't have to. You can leave the dill out, put something else in. So you put those four seasonings in, you mix it up, maybe a little salt too, a little salt and everything. Mix it up. And then it's amazing and delicious. I would let it chill for a couple hours, but it's so good. It's ridiculous. And all of those dried seasonings are really good for you. The calories come from the mayo and the sour cream, right? Okay. So then you love the dip. You eat the dip. It's amazing. It does have calories in it, but it's still a pretty healthy dip. So then when you make the dip the next time, you do a third. So you do a third of sour cream, a third of mayo, and a third of Greek yogurt. I guess you could do cottage cheese if you wanted to too, but you really have to blend it because otherwise it would be lumpy. So that's a personal choice. But I would do Greek yogurt. And then you mix it all up. You can't even taste if it's a third different. You can't. And then you just try to do that every time. So then maybe next time you do like a quarter sour cream and a quarter mayonnaise and then half Greek yogurt. Right? Like that's probably where I'm at right now because like I really do like the flavors of the mayo and the sour cream. But like if you make half of the consistency of the dip Greek yogurt, you've totally changed the whole calorie and protein profile of the dip. And that's really the way to do it with the dressings and the sauces because I'm also really big into honey mustard. I don't remember if you Went to Chili's back in the day, but they had this honey mustard. I don't think they have it like they do now. And it was just so good, and you'd want to dip everything in it, chicken fingers and the salads, whatever you want. So I make my own honey mustard, and basically it is a little mayo, and I do vegan mayo. So that's your base. Then you're gonna put in some really good honey. You want really good, if raw honey is best. We could do a whole episode on honey because the honey we buy in the stores has been ultra processed. And like a teaspoon or a little more of horseradish, so good. And mustard, right? Like Dijon mustard, but I add a couple of the mustards because I love mustards. And then you stir it all together, so delicious. Such a good dip. But that's what I'm saying. It's important to know what's in your dip. Like for instance, I think we all love the chili crunch, right? It's like so delicious. Trader Joe's chili crunch, onion chili crunch, is better than all the other ones because the oil that the crunch is in is olive oil. And any other chili crunch that you see on the market, it's going to have like a canola or a sunflower or some other oil that's not as beneficial to your body as olive oil is, especially extra virgin olive oil. So things like that. Just little things, notice them. They make a big difference. Your body's a living organism. I love you so much. I want you to eat food. I love food. Food is really good for you. And a really important tactic when we are trying to be healthy and lose weight is to get like really healthy food on our plate because the healthy food does look bigger because you can have more of it. And anything that's processed, takeout, whatever. And like you want to transition, you want to transition really slowly because otherwise you feel deprived. So for instance, since I'm transitioning again to a fitter individual, I get my Popeyes chicken tenders, which are 170 calories, which is awesome. But then I bring them home and I chop them up and I put them on top of a bed of lettuce with either some wild rice or quinoa or some sort of healthy carb. We're talking about carbs next episode. And then it's like I have my complete meal, but I still have that little deliciousness from a takeout place. So I think that's the way to do it. Argue with me in the comments. I would love to hear it. Or I'd love to hear you say, yes, I'm on this journey with you. Say that down below in the comments. I'm just trying to do life better and it's not easy. And I'd like you to join me for that journey. And we just talked about counting calories. MyFitnessPal is a good choice for that. And it's important to just sort of help you see how many calories you intake every day as we're starting this journey. And another really good tip, and I'll talk about this in the exercise video, if you can get a calorie deficient for the weight you are at, okay, let me repeat. If you can get a calorie deficient number, right? Like let's say to maintain your overweight body weight is like 2,500 calories a day, but you decide to eat 1,900 calories a day instead, which is a good deficient for calories. If you could look at your ideal weight, like what you're trying to get to, and see what the maintain number is for that, if that could match the number that you're doing now, that would be ideal, essentially, because the reality is you can't just keep eating less. Eventually you won't have, you know what I mean? And the first way I tried to lose weight when I was a young adult in my teens was to not eat. And it's frustrating because I feel like that was the thinnest I ever was senior year in high school. And I looked fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong. I looked amazing. But it was not in a healthy way. And I think it's really important that we focus on doing it the healthy way, which makes me think of just one more thing I want to talk about because I know like we're going super long. What's talking about in the news right now is Sydney Sweeney's jeans ad. And there's a lot of controversy on it. And I'm not on either side. I am on the kids' side. So, it is not a big deal or it is a big deal. Parents can argue about that and so can society. What the issue is with all this stuff is that when it's very popular, it's in the media, it becomes desirable, male gaze, whatever. Teenagers, young women, myself included back in the day, not anymore, they really feed off that. And they're like, oh, well, that's what I'm supposed to be. That's what I'm supposed to look like. And so that's where the real issue is, like I think we should all, especially today with the internet, we should all be confident on who we are, our genes, where we come from, and be proud of that because we don't have to be our ancestors or where we came from, we can be that, we can change, we can have be that change we want to see in the world. Is that a Michael Jackson? Okay. I'm sorry. Uh we can, though, we can be the change we want to see in the world, but we have to respect, who we are and where we came from. And so I do think there's a healthy debate there about the commercial, but this is just about the kids. I think kids really look up to those figures. Like when I was really young, I was like, let me just look like Alicia Silverstone and my life will be perfect. And I'm sure if Alicia Silverstone was watching this video right now, she'd be like, no, 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 you were perfect as a kid. And I think that's why it's really important we focus on media that is really healthy and good for young people, because it just affects them so much more than it does us as adults who have maybe not only been desensitized by it, but are aware of like the profit behind it. Like there's companies, they want money, they're trying to sell something. This is a way to get attention, and maybe young teenagers aren't as really as aware of that. And so, yeah, so this is also a message out to anybody who's got kids that are teenagers, and promoting like a healthy lifestyle for them. And, kids do what they see. So, if you're that example, I feel like that's what's best. My parents tried really hard, and even though my mom was not a cook, she was trying to put healthy food on the table, vegetables and proteins and all of that. So I just big shout out to anyone out there who does take care of other people and you put effort into putting healthy food on the table. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this episode. This is Awesome Ashby Eats, because I love to eat. And I hope that you have a really great day and you do enjoy the food that you eat today, and you take a moment to think about how grateful you are to have it, because there are people out there who don't have it. So thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see you next time. And until then, enjoy life.